Sanbonani, welcome to Melusi's Everyday Zulu Lesson 1. We're really excited to embark on this journey with you. I'm here with Utenjiwe Mswane, who's actually your primary tutor. I'm just the guy that wrote the book. She created the curriculum around the book, and she's going to be the one doing most of the teaching, and I'm just going to be chipping in. Thank you.
All right. Ngiyabonga Melusi, which means thank you, Melusi. You'll learn all those things by the end of this week. My name, not this week, by the end of the lessons, hopefully. My name is Utenjiwe Mswane. I am an anthropologist by training, but also I'm an isiZulu language practitioner. I met Melusi through the proofreading and the going through the Zuluness of his book, because he's such a Johannesburg Zulu. I just need to bring the Zuluness from KZN. It's a pleasure. And so that's what I am. That's how Melusi and I met, and that's what I'm doing here. I've also taught IEB and I've also taught CAPS curriculums. And so what we've done with Melusi's work is we've created a curriculum based entirely on the book. And the curriculum is not meant, you're not going to learn how to be an exceptional isiZulu speaker by the end of this lesson. It is meant as a beginner's guide on how it is that you can, at the very least, pronounce isiZulu properly and know what words are when you hear them. Yeah? And so we're going to start isifundo sanamhlanje, which means today's lesson. And our lesson for this week is ukubingelela and ukuzazisa. Ukubingelela means to greet. Ukuzazisa means to introduce yourself. In a little bit of a context around ukubingelela, and you'll hear in the lesson how it is that Zulu people greet, is that when Zulu people greet, they don't just greet one person, and that's a historical thing. And in fact, if anything, how you find it in modern times is when a child is born, they have to have something called imbeleko, where they're introduced to their ancestors. And from that day on, you're no longer your own person. You're a person who belongs to a group of people. Yeah. And so every time somebody greets you, they need to recognize you, and they need to recognize the people who have come before you and the people who will come after you. All right. And yeah, so that's just a brief introduction on Ubingelela, and we're going to hand over to Melusi to read from the book.
As we mentioned, the curriculum was built around words in the book and concepts in the book. So every once in a while, we'll read a piece. So here I read a piece around Ukubingelela. Ukubingelela is to greet. Greeting is an important part of acknowledging one another, but it can easily get too much, especially in the workplace. Walking from one part of the building to another, two black friends who also happen to be colleagues walk past a third colleague. Only one of the friends greets the third colleague. Friend 1, you didn't greet Ujabu. And? Are you two having issues? No. So why didn't you greet him? Because I greeted him earlier in the day. I also greeted him earlier in the day, but as a people who greet each other every time, especially when we know each other. Otherwise it's just wrong. Wrong, Sekhat. Maybe back in the day when we had land, we'd bingelela each other every time we saw each other, because we didn't see each other all the time. I'd see you in the morning as we headed off to work up respective pieces of land. Then we'd greet each other again in the evening if we hadn't been eaten by wild animals. Now we're in the office buildings. I can't greet you every time I see you at the copier, in the kitchen, at a meeting, at the water cooler, in the loo. And the other one goes, you still have to greet him.
Thank you, Melusi. That reminds me, my child, I have a child, and as a Johannesburg person, he once, so you know when an adult just like, so the child does not greet. I remember my child going, I don't sell sawubona because as a part of Zulu culture, you're meant to do it so often. And in the modern isiZulu world, nobody does it as often, right? So our first word for today, and we're going to go through the entire lesson, which is in all of your activity sheets and your worksheets that you would have online with you. So how do we greet ngesiZulu? I would say sawubona.
Sawubona.
So in your lesson it says sawubona mfundi is how I'd greet you alone looking at your computer screen. I would say sawubona mfundi. The root word there is bona, and you must always remember this word, and we're going to go through this in all of our lessons as we continue, that you need to know in isiZulu the root word for you to be able to know what the sentence means. And bona means to see. Yeah? And sawu, so sa is a plural prefix, and we're going to learn this in the later weeks as well. So sawubona means we see you. Yeah? We see you. So for one person, I would say, sawubona mfundi.
Sawubona Tisha.
Ngiyabonga Melusi. Unjani?
Ngiyaphila, wena unjani?
Nami ngiyaphila. So the second word is unjani. And unjani means how are you. It also is not just as a word, also in this Xhosa as in Nguni language. Unjani means how are you. Ngiyaphila, as Melusi said, means I am fine. And there what we need to remember, so phila means in fact to be alive. Ngiyaphila, I'm living. It'd be the direct translation. But the root word there is phila. And what we need to know is every time you speak about yourself as a singular person, you speak about ngi. Ngiyaphila, ngiyahamba, ngi. And ngi always means singular person, yeah? So ngiyaphila, wena unjani. And then I would also say, nami ngiyaphila. Nami ngiyaphila. Nami means I am also fine, yeah? Nami ngiyaphila means I am also fine. Now we're going to get into ukuzazisa. And the reason ukuzazisa and ukubingelela are together in this context again is because often in Zulu-ness, you don't just greet. Because you're not a nobody, you don't just greet and go, it's not hello, bye. So imagine if you're in a crowd, you would also have to introduce yourself to these women. Never needed to introduce themselves, but men did. And in fact, even Zulu surnames aren't how they, so Umelusi, for example's name would be Umelusi Abanban. So for example, with Ushaka, yeah? Ushaka kasenza ngakona kabanban, yeah? So those are the people, that's why Ubingela is so close to Ukuzazisa, is because if Umelusi lived in rural KZN in the time of Ushaka, he would go, Umelusi ka, then he would say his father, and then his father's father before him, yeah? And that would be the process of Ukuzazis.
So you're saying women never needed to introduce themselves, just men?
Yes.
Why? Because we don't trust each other.
Yes.
So we must know who messes up.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yes, because a big fear was the stealing of each other's women. So if Umelusi has come, because there was also Sigolok Twala, so you could just come and steal a girl. Yeah?
Terrible.
So you come, pick up me, put me on your back. So for lobola purposes, my father needed to know who had stolen me. You don't need to know my name, but my father needs to know who you are.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's why women never introduce themselves. And so when you're introducing yourself in the context of modern day Zulu-ness, where you don't have to trace your fathers, you would go, Igama lami ngingu, which means my name is. Igama lami ngingu. Igama means name. Lami is possession for mine, and we're going to learn that through the weeks. Ngingu, and again, remember when we were doing Ngiyaphila, Ngingu, so Ngi is I am, and then Ngu means am. Ngingu, Tenji, yeah? Ngiyajabula ukukwazi, and ukujabula, so again, just remember the Ngi. Jabula is the root word, which means happy. Ukukwazi, and in Melusi's book, ukwazi is also there, and kwazi means to know you, yeah? Right, and then after that we say ngiyabonga, ngiyabonga, which means
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ngiyabonga that you let me speak.
Yes. Which is also probably first chapter of Melusi's book where he says ngibonga.
It's the first,
it was a headache.
The first word.
Yes, it's the first word.
Yeah.
And I think we had like a little bit of a headache going through that because I was going, it's ngiyabonga. And he was like, no, but anyway, and I accepted he was a joker. So ngiyabonga. Hamba kahle, yeah? Hamba kahle. And then what would you say if I was there?
Sala kahle.
Ngiyabonga, Melusi. And then in this lesson, we say ngiyakuthanda, and this is in the hope that the people you are saying goodbye to you also love. Ngiyakuthanda, and ngiyakuthanda means I love you, okay? So can we just quickly go back to hamba kahle and sala kahle, yeah? Now, and I need you as the person at home, say it with me now. Hamba kahle, sala kahle. And I hope and I pray that you're not saying hamba kahle and sala kahle. Right. So with the lessons, we're also going to go through pronunciation. I'm going to try teach you how to pronounce sounds that you're probably not familiar with. So the sound that is new here is the sound. And so I'm going to ask you to take your computer and move to the kitchen, take your phone, move to the kitchen, switch on the stove, put on oil, let it burn, and then put water in. And the sound that makes, and you must listen to that sound, and the sound that makes is, yeah? Yeah. All right. And so how you make that sound with your mouth is you put your tongue in between your teeth, like this, and then So, I mean, not like this, like this, and then you make the sound. And that's the sound for Sala kahle ngiyakuthanda. Yeah? And Sala kahle means goodbye, and ngiyakuthanda means I love you. And that's the end of our singular session. Yes, Melusi?
Yeah, it is. So greeting one person.
And so what we're going to ask you to do as you end this is you can pause this and just play and pronounce. So you'll see in your lesson plan that there's a time for pronunciation. So what we're going to ask you as a viewer at home is to pause and to go and to take about 5 to 10 minutes of practicing pronouncing the singular greetings, yes? And then we're going to get into our plural greetings. So how do we greet a lot of people in isiZulu? Because unlike English, it's not just hello, hello, hi, hi. There's a very technical thing, and you'll learn this when you learn the prefixes. And there's also something that you're probably going to see, and it's called a grammar cheat sheet. Let that not scare you. It's just a cheat sheet that I'm hoping teaches people at least how to construct the isiZulu language. So this is the beginning of that, and you learn this when you do plural, okay? So when you were greeting me alone, it was sawubona Tisha, yeah? I didn't go into Tisha as the word in the first instance because it comes from an English word and it's not in fact isiZulu, yeah? But when you are, so if you're using the same word that's on your sheet, which is on your sheet, which is sanibonani bo Tisha. So if you look at that and you go back to your worksheet, there are two things that you're going to see that are highlighted. Is that, and so when you were doing the singular, you were going sawubona Tisha. When you're doing the plural, the wu changes into a ni, and wu is just a singular prefix for everything. It's like wena, wawa. So it's when you're referring to one person doing something, in Zulu it has a wu sound, yeah? But when you're referring to a lot of people, and again it will change depending on the context, so let this not confuse you. Just for greetings, it becomes a ni. The wu becomes a ni, yeah? Sawubona, sanibona, botisha. And then the botisha is a plural for teachers, yeah? And for this lesson, I hope that don't go into the prefix, the plural of people, just go into how to greet many people. We're going to go into why it's botisha later, but it's botisha, yeah? Sawubona Tisha, sanibona botisha, sanibona bafundi. And again, the mfundi, it was mfundi at the beginning. When it was one person, it would be bafundi, me greeting all of you, sanibonani bafundi, yeah? And then how do I then say hello to a lot of you students? I would say sanibonani bafundi, or sanibona bafundi. This is just important in terms of the same way that English is a dialect, and depending on where you are with the English language, different people pronounce it differently. So if you hear a variation of sanibona and then you hear sanibonani, just be aware that there may be a regional difference, but both of them are right? Yeah, so it is sanibona bafundi or sanibonani bafundi. Yeah, and again you're changing what had been. So it was sawubona mfundi sanibonani. Yeah, ninjani, unjani, ninjani. So what's consistent here is that a lot of the what changes becomes a ni. Yeah, so it was unjani, ninjani for plural, and then ngi always changes into a si for plural. Ngiyaphila, siyaphila, ngiyaphila, siyaphila. Nina ninjani. So before it was wena unjani, yeah, and the wu is changed, so it's nina ninjani, nina ninjani. And then to introduce again, so if you're introducing yourself as a group, ukuzazisa sibaningi, it is amagama etu, ama, so igama changes to ama, igama lami, amagama etu, singo, because so remember that when we went the ngi becomes a si, it would be singo. Amagama etu singo, siyajabula ukunazi. So before it was ukukwazi, and it becomes ukunazi, yeah? And siyabonga, so before it was ngiyabonga, and then it becomes
siyabonga.
Thank you, Melusi. And then it is hambani kahle instead of salani kahle, hambani kahle, salani kahle, and then it is siyanithanda. So to say we love many people would be siyanithanda, we love You,
So she and I, siyanithanda.
what Melusi said.
Yeah.
I haven't met you. I'm not sure if I know that. But how do you say? We love one person? So if me and all of you love Melusi, we would say siyakuthanda Melusi. So there's a very clear difference. So to love many people, siyanithanda, because it's many of you and many people. So si ni, but it is we love one Melusi, siyakuthanda. Yeah, siyakuthanda. And so at the end of this lesson, and I'm hoping, because you're not going to pick up a language by listening to an hour a day, the joy of online is that you can play us every day, but you can also then practice. So what we have in your worksheet is you'll have an activity sheet. So after you've done the pronunciation as it's set up on your lesson plan, the pronunciation, the listening, the audio, yeah. So go to the visual page, Kamelusi, and look at the words, and then say them again without now hearing me say the words. So do an audio exercise. Then the last activity would be for you to go and do your activity sheet. The activity sheet is meant to be fun, but it's also just meant to test you and see, can you practice the thing that you've learned in the lesson. I'm never going to test to know if you know the activity sheet, but it would be really useful for you to see if you can understand what we've gone through in this lesson.
Yeah. So that is the end of our first lesson. And as Utenju has said, it is important to just keep going back and playing. But also at the bottom of your screen, there are audio clips. And those audio clips are the pronunciation of the expressions that we used today. So play those and practice again. And there's a black bar at the bottom of this screen that contains us. On that bar, if you click on it, you will find links to radio stations that speak isiZulu, TV shows that are in isiZulu, and additional content. But also additionally, if you do have a copy of the book, there's an app called BookBeak that you can use to then scan pages of the book in order to get pronunciations. So really hope you enjoyed the lesson and you find it useful. See you next time. Salane kahle.
Salane.